Your cat forgets the little things, but certain moments leave a mark they'll never lose. Research shows that cats carry episodic-like memories for experiences that strike deep emotion. These are the acts that will stay with your cat for a lifetime, shaping how they'll remember you long after their whiskers turn white. Number 1. Watch where they touch your face. Most cat parents stroke their cat's head wrong. You probably do the top of head pat, maybe scratch behind the ears, but there's a spot that carries 10 times more emotional significance, and cats spend their whole lives hoping you'll discover it. The temporal gland sits right between their eye and ear, that soft, warm patch where their cheek meets their temple. When mother cats groom their kittens, they focus obsessively on this exact spot. The movement releases a cascade of oxytocin that literally rewrites their stress response system. But here's the fascinating part. Research from Oregon State University found that cats who receive regular temporal gland stroking show 40% lower cortisol levels throughout their entire lives. Not just during petting, permanently. Veterinary behaviorists estimate only 1 in 20 cat parents ever discover this spot. Your cat has scent glands there that release pheromones when touched correctly, a gentle circular motion with just your fingertip. These pheromones create what researchers call a social odor memory that becomes part of your cat's permanent emotional landscape. When you touch this spot, you're literally writing yourself into their nervous system. The memory doesn't fade with time. It actually strengthens through a process called consolidation, where the brain moves important experiences from temporary to permanent storage. Number 2, the daily words they're waiting for. Your cat needs something from you that has nothing to do with food or play. Japanese researchers using fMRI scans discovered that cats who are talked to regularly develop a thicker auditory cortex. The part of their brain that processes human speech actually grows, creating new neural pathways that didn't exist before. But wait, there's something darker here. Cats who grow up in quiet homes show the same neurological patterns as cats with hearing loss. Their brains literally atrophy from lack of stimulation. Your cat needs you to narrate your life to them. Studies show cats can distinguish between 30 to 40 different human words, but they understand hundreds of tonal patterns. Not baby talk, though. That high-pitched voice we use actually increases their anxiety by mimicking the frequency of distressed kitten calls. They need conversational tones, the same voice you'd use with a friend. Tell them about your terrible meeting. Explain why you're choosing that can of food. Describe the weather while you both look out the window. Here's what shocked researchers. Cats know when you're talking about them versus talking to them. They recognize emotional states just from vocal cadence. In multi-cat households where humans rarely speak, cats develop what behaviorists call selective mutism. They stop vocalizing altogether because they've learned communication doesn't bring connection. Number 3, what happens between 5 and 7 a.m.? Your cat performs a morning ritual you probably ignore every single day. Between 5 and 7 a.m., cats experience what's called a social checking behavior. They need to confirm their colony is intact. In the wild, this meant checking if everyone survived the night. University of Georgia researchers documented something remarkable. How you respond in those first 10 seconds shapes their entire day. Cats who receive what they call morning acknowledgement, just a few short words, a slow blink, a gentle touch, show dramatically different behavior patterns for the next 16 hours. They eat 30% more food throughout the day. They engage in twice as much play behavior. Their sleep cycles become more regular, entering deep sleep faster. But cats whose morning check-ins were ignored, they showed increased hiding behavior, decreased appetite, and something heartbreaking. After an average of just 12 days of being ignored during morning checks, cats stop performing them altogether. The neural pathway that drives this bonding behavior actually begins to prune itself through a process called synaptic elimination. Your cat's brain literally stops expecting connection. The acknowledgement doesn't need to be elaborate. You don't even have to get up. A mumbled good morning, a stretched out hand, even just opening your eyes and making eye contact. These tiny gestures activate their attachment system for the entire day ahead. Number 4, the signal most people miss. Every cat has a breaking point you've probably pushed past hundreds of times without realizing the damage you're causing. Cornell University's Feline Health Center discovered cats have what they call a petting threshold, a neurological limit where pleasure turns to overstimulation. Watch for these signals: tail flicking, skin rippling, ears rotating backward, shifting weight, or dilated pupils. These aren't mood swings. Their nervous system literally cannot process more touch without triggering a stress response. The mechanoreceptors in their skin become overwhelmed, sending alarm signals to their brain. When you respect these signals and stop immediately, something profound happens neurologically. Their brain releases GABA, a neurotransmitter that reinforces trust pathways. They learn you're safe precisely because you stop. This creates what researchers call predictive comfort. Your cat's nervous system actually prepares for safety when you approach, but pushing past their signals activates their sympathetic nervous system, the same fight or flight response triggered by predators. Some cats will tolerate this for years, building what veterinary behaviorists call a stress debt that eventually erupts in aggression, hiding, or stress-related illness. Your cat maintains a detailed memory of every boundary interaction. These memories don't fade. They accumulate into what researchers term their human safety map. Some cats live their entire lives mapped as unsafe, never fully relaxing even during seemingly peaceful moments. Number 5. How you leave changes everything. You're probably traumatizing your cat every time you leave the house. The University of Lincoln discovered that starting 20 minutes before departure, cats experience pre-departure anxiety. They recognize your routine: picking up keys, putting on shoes, grabbing your bag. Their heart rate increases by 30%. Stress hormones flood their system. Pupils dilate to maximum capacity. Most people either ignore them completely or do lengthy emotional goodbyes that increase anxiety. Both approaches cause lasting psychological damage. What your cat desperately needs is a departure ritual, a consistent, calm pattern that signals return. Animal behaviorists recommend something specific, a particular phrase at the same time, a treat placed in the same location, a toy that appears only during departures. Through repetition, this ritual creates predictive security in your cat's hippocampus. Cats with established departure rituals show 50% less destructive behavior when alone. They maintain normal eating patterns. They don't develop those stress-related UTIs that plague anxious cats. MRI scans show their amygdala, the fear center, remains calm during owner absence. Without this ritual, cats spend hours in what behaviorists call vigilant state, sitting by the door, muscles tensed, unable to rest, waiting for a return they can't predict. The chronic stress damages their immune system, shortens their lifespan, and fundamentally alters their personality. Number 6. The vigil they need but never get. When your cat is sick, they need something from you that most people completely misunderstand. Sick cats don't just need medical care. They need what researchers call social proximity without interaction. This stems from their wildcat ancestors. Injured cats would position themselves where colony members could see them while maintaining recovery distance. University of California, Davis found that cats who receive appropriate illness vigil show measurable differences in recovery. Their immune markers improve 25% faster. White blood cell counts normalize sooner. The presence of their bonded human triggers the release of immunoglobulin A, an antibody that fights infection. Your silent company literally strengthens their immune system through a process called psychoneuroimmunology. Some cat parents think leaving sick cats alone helps them rest. The opposite is true. Isolation during illness triggers abandonment stress, suppressing immune function and delaying healing by up to 40%. Number 7. The words they wait a lifetime to hear. Cats know when they're dying. Research from Colorado State University's Veterinary Teaching Hospital confirms what many suspect. Cats show distinct behavioral changes weeks before the end. They're waiting for something specific from you. Cats have a biological drive to hide their decline, an instinct that protected them from predators. But in your home, this instinct becomes torture. They want to let go, but feel they can't because it might distress you. Veterinary thanatologists have documented that cats whose owners verbally acknowledge what's happening show measurable stress reduction in their final days. Cortisol levels drop, purring increases. They seek more physical contact. They eat better. They seem, for lack of a better word, peaceful. They need you to tell them it's okay, that you know, that they don't have to pretend anymore, that they've been good, that they're loved, and when they're ready, they can go. This conversation doesn't mean giving up on treatment. It means creating what specialists call emotional hospice, a space where death isn't fought, but acknowledged. Your cat will only die once. How you handle that transition becomes their final memory, encoded in neural pathways that persist until the very last moment of consciousness.